Welcome to Home Cinema and Tech Review. In this video, I'm going to review GMKTec M7 Pro Mini PC. As always, I dive deep and made the benchmarks, tests like CPU, GPU, external GPU with Oculink, and I'm going to tell you all about it. So without further ado, let's dive in. This is GMKTec M7 Pro Mini PC, and as you can see, it fits right in my palm. And don't worry, even though it's small, it's interestingly more powerful than you can imagine. We got Ryzen 9 Pro 6950H CPU and Radeon 680M GPU, which was more powerful than I expected. I'm going to explain why. 1 terabytes of hard drive, M.2 drive, but we got another separate M.2 drive, so we can have two M.2 in it. And we got at the back two 2.5 gigabit Ethernet, so we can use this device as a server, depending on the choice for a small business or entire home or big company, who knows? Because you can add external hard drives to, share as a media server or file server for your company. You don't want to maybe use a NAS, you want a Windows solution. This might be the device. So it can do many things. Let's dive in. So we got a Wi-Fi 6, Bluetooth 5.2. Bluetooth is important for me, and the Wi-Fi signal capabilities like Wi-Fi signal getting power is important because I really love to use the small PCs with the Bluetooth. I can connect my Xbox controller since these devices can easily play any game. And I would like to use my keyboard and mouse when I sit and enjoy this PC on a big scale with a TV, as you know me in the channel, or a projector. So we got a Windows 11 license and we got Oculink ports. Other than that, I think I've finished the specs. We got two USB 4 and two USB 2.0 at the back and two USB 3.0 at the front. I think that's it. And you're going to see the physicals, so I'm not going to dive deep and taking your time. But fully metal aluminum case really makes me feel like this is a premium stuff. But more importantly, I was amazed with the sound level of this device. You're going to see it in the different sections of the video. If I can put it right here, I will. Basically, this device has the volume of, if you put the smartphone on the device, at the top of the line, at the benchmark like Furmark with the 100% fully load, it gives around 40 decibels. But normally you don't feel the computer and stick to your ear to the PC. A more regular way or rational way to calculate the noise from 70 centimeters roughly for your arm's length. So basically, when we take the smartphone from here to power measurement, we got less and less. So around 30-32 decibels is a great value. You don't hear this PC unless you're going to push it at the edge, and even that, it's not going to be bothering you with like any big PC. So basically, this is a pretty much silent as a small PC can get, in my opinion. It's quite silent. And by the way, the heat levels are quite good. We were catching like 72 degrees up to 75. That was just a Furmark. Other than that, when play games with the highest settings, the CPU and GPU like AMD heat levels are about, you're going to see them in the benchmarks, around 70-ish. So basically, this is silent and cool in the same time. Considering this is Ryzen 9 Pro 6950H, I think it's a good value and also with a good sound level. That is important when you want to keep things slim, slick, beautiful like this. You don't want to hear too much of a fan noise. So other than that, we made synthetic benchmarks like Crystal Disk, and we got above 3,500 megabytes per second for the M.2 drive, which means it has a fast drive in it. And also, the one important thing about this, up top, we got a fan, and the fan is exhausting heated air from M.2 SSDs and also DDR5 memories, which is important because this device is really pushing the limits of the DDR5 because it is using the power. It needs that DDR5 power for the GPU and CPU in the same time, since we don't have a dedicated GPU built inside. On that sense, we got another point of this PC. Oculink gives us 60% more bandwidth, and right now, as you can see, I've installed a VGA card to it. I'm going to tell you the benchmarks, okay? Directly, I'm going to start with the internal, which is far more important than the, first of all, external, because without the external, you might want to just start with the M7 Pro, and there is a reason for that. The Red Dead Redemption 2 has, with the low graphics, full HD, gets around 40 FPS and plus. But this is about FSR balanced. I'm not talking about performance. If you push the FSR performance, and if the games are supporting frame generation, you can get 50 to 60 with the low graphics of any game, I guess. So with the Wukong, I wasn't expecting this. Wukong with the medium graphics, 44 FPS when the benchmark is happening. Although you might say like benchmark doesn't have too much of an action in it, I get it, but the Wukong in the real game menus, you got pretty much a lot of different sections that you can tune to yourself. If you open up the frame generation, FSR to the performance, you can clearly play medium graphics with internals. I'm going to talk about why this is important and how this happens. Forza Horizon 5 at the full HD, high 54 FPS, everything is on. And GTA 5 is maybe old game, everything is ultra 50 plus. And other than that, I would like to tell something like Red Dead Redemption 2 with a 1680 to 1050. This is kind of like a mid territory, older resolution for 21, 23 inch old monitors that we had like probably 10 years, maybe more ago. So you can't really differentiate 1680 from 1980. So it is an interesting mid-range of resolution, but when you do that, you go medium with the Red Dead Redemption. Instead of a 40 with a full HD low, you get medium graphics and 50 plus, like 50, 55. So basically, I think you cannot differentiate this device with internal GPU from Xbox Series S. I know Xbox Series S is not the best gaming console, but it's not actually doing most of the time when the game is high level. It drops down from 4K to internally and trying to upscale it in a way. And also it is using too much of a relying on the FSR, in my opinion, because that's why people like me also go through the Xbox Series X. This device cannot perform as Xbox Series X, but considering the price of this, size of this, sound level of this, and to be able to adding a card later on, I think this is doing a great job. I wasn't expecting, like, I am testing PCs. Okay, I knew the potential, but in my opinion, let's just face it, Steam Deck and other handheld devices are relying on AMD GPU and CPU combinations, and Steam, in the other hand, are pushing too much. And the consoles are using AMD power, so consoles are also relying on, which is not a bad thing, by the way. It's really increasing the performance with the same hardware. What's wrong with that? It's obvious, that's good. With a low money, you're getting better performance. So that means with an FSR 2.0, 2.1, or FSR 3 point something with maybe Cyberpunk, you can have a medium graphic, full HD. You can play anything with this device, in my opinion. In general, I'm speaking in general. Like some games, of course, it's going to push. Some latest games, you might want to go to the low, but some people don't prefer FSR performance mode instead of a performance or frame generation too much. They tend to go balanced because a lot less maybe texture problems. So in that sense, I get it. But even with the performance mode, you can really enjoy many of the third-person games, many of the racing games, pretty much anything, in my opinion. So this is an upgradable device compared to the laptops. You got 4 monitor output, which you can do Photoshop in one, Illustrator in second. You can connect your graphic tablet like me. You can work with one monitor there or directly to your design unit. And then here you can watch the web, see the news. You can do multiple things. If you're a broker, you can check the markets and stuff. So This is a 4-monitor output directly device, and when you add the GPU externally with the Oculink, you can do probably everything with this device. I think it's kind of like a sweet spot for potential future upgrade. So you can, of course, go lower on the specs without the Oculink. You can use Thunderbolt or USB 4 to add an eGPU, but 60% more bandwidth than the Thunderbolt 4 is going to give you the ability of 4000 RTX 4080 level of graphic performance, which is you can when you add FSR. Let me just repeat it. And I think it's an important thing because I applied the FSR when I did it with the performance mode. With the RTX 4060, I think we can play anything 4K even with the RTX 4060. So you don't need to go the highest of specs. You might tell like a DLSS or FSR when you open them up like for the performance, okay, a little bit of graphic loss, but even with the balanced mode, okay, when you include frame generation, because the new CPU GPUs really supports the AI and frame generation, which many of the optimized games, well, a little bit of artifact, if it's not bothering you, you can play any game at 2K minimum with the RTX 4060, in my opinion, of course. Like, you can literally push the limits. Some games cannot handle that. But for me, it's ideal sweet spot to be able to add a GPU later on with the Oculink. So let me know what you think at the comment section below. But even without the eGPU adding on later, the 6950H and 680M with the FSR, I think it's very, very close to Xbox Series S in a sort of way. I could get a Game Pass and use it as a small gaming solution, and I can use it with the TV, use the resolution of Full HD and let the TV to do the upscaling for me, and then I will get a great picture for my projectors and TVs. So let me know what you think under the comment section below. I'm going to leave you with the benchmarks. It's going to be a long section, so that's why this video is long. I'm not going to edit it. I'm just going to leave it there, so you're going to see the settings, see the picture quality, see what happens as the FPS and values in the screen, like heat levels and stuff. So let me know what you think. I think it's probably a logical choice to go the ones with an option of eGPU. If you are going to use later on more powerful eGPU, or if you're going to work in AI calculations, and maybe because a lot of people are asking, since the CPU and GPU is high-end, some people ask me, can I use Cinema 4D? Can I use Blender? Yes, you can with the directed inside internal GPU. I'm editing my videos, but when I play 4K internally, I drop it to half resolution to make it faster, or the render times really decrease with the eGPU adding on later on. For example, you can render with 1 hour with this, 20 minutes with this. So, okay, you got a GPU, but if you have more power, always render times will go lower. But without any problem, you can edit the videos. But if you're also considering the render time, even though the CPU is fast, render times drops a lot when you have a GPU. I might create another video about this, how much of an importance of the GPU in 2024 or 5, how much level of GPU that we are able to use with the Premiere maybe in the future coming videos. Let me know if you want to see something like this. Hope to see you in the next video. Until the next video, hoşça kalın. Welcome to the box opening section of GMKTec M7 Pro. As you all know, I take it slow. This is a good quality thick carton box, and I really love good quality box. This is a warranty cable and #1 GMKTec logo on it, and we're going to take a look at the PC just in a second. So this is the protective holder, nice touch. It's semi-hard, so it's a little soft around the edges, and power button comes here. And we got GMK logo glowing, as you've seen probably before section. So this is the user manual, I guess. But saying a manual could not be doing justice. This is like a book style, quite a bit of detailed stuff. So I'm going to take it onto a side. As long as the important parts are coming out, this is the box content. And right now, I've took everything out. And we got 2 units. This is a 120 watts of PSU or power adapter that we can call it. I'm going to show you the specs up close. And one other power cable. This is Turkey that I live in, so this is the power cable style, but it will change depending on your probably region. So this is the HDMI cable, nice touch. I really love when I find cables in it. And the VESA mount, I like it because I put it behind my monitors or TV if I can edit later on, just to keep things slick. So without further ado, I'm going to take some parts out to make stuff clean. And before diving deep to the PC's specs, 19 volts, 6.32 amps, and 120.08 watts of power. And the cable is long enough. As you can see, you can place the PC, but you can always extend it with this sort of section of the cable. So that's a nice touch, good power supply. 120 watts is a need when it comes down to the Ryzen 9 8950H. And I'm going to reveal the top layer. This, you know, people love this sort of cover taking out. It will be in short section coming up next. But before that, we got a Ryzen 9 logo here. We got a GMKTec logo there. And on the front, what do we have? As you can see, we got a space here. I'm going to talk about it. We got a space here for ventilation. And we got an Oculink port here, which we are going to connect our external eGPU, and I'm going to review that too, don't worry. Must power off the PC, that's a warning, because this is built for external hardwares like a PCI Express cards, capture card, VGA gaming card, or whatnot, so you got to power off. That's a warning sign. You can always remove it if you know what you're doing. USB 4, Type-C, 2 USB 3, a 3.5, and good feeling power button as always. And around the side, this is a pretty cold metal. By the way, this is aluminum, extremely cold. It feels like a MacBook, physically pretty solid. And around here, it really feels like a CNC cutout. And I don't know if you can see it or not, but inside we got copper pipes, just like performance laptop coolers. And then at the back, again, full aluminum and custom cutout. So we have ports like power input, USB, another 4 here, 2.5 gigabit Ethernets, and 1 pretty much solid display port, full size, a full-size HDMI port, and 2 USB 2.0s, just in case you're going to connect your, you know, regular stuff like printers and keyboards and mouse and stuff if you're not going to use the Bluetooth 5.2, which this device has, and probably I will do it with the Bluetooth. And we got exhaust system where the I'm talking Turkish, so the copper heat pipes and also aluminum coolers. And we have like air intake here. Air goes from here and goes out from here, and also probably it is taking vacuum like air from sides and getting out from this way. So this is a pretty much like a laptop style cooler, and 4 silicon based feet that will protect from slipping, and GMKTec Nukebox M7 Pro. What you're going to do if you want to use the VESA mount, you're going to mount it like this. Let me just return it, and you're going to mount it like this from here. And this metal unit, I will be more clear if I take it out. So I will put it like this, and then you will mount it, okay? Little bit of friction because of the feet, but you will screw it, sorry. You do it like this, you screw it, and then you got like a dedicated another holder screw here. You put it onto the monitor or TV, and then you lock it down simply by just clicking on a PC. But don't worry, even if you add the legs, you can put it on the ground. I show this in my M6 review, or of course I will review maybe later. I don't know which one is coming out first of the video. So you can put it on even with the VESA mount. Don't worry about this. I think this is another practical stuff. So this is the last section. Get ready. I am taking the cover out. Okay, this is the cover. As you can see, this sticker really means something because it says how we can remove it. We're going to remove it by rotating it, and voila, it's taken out. So the plexi style smoked up space is really protecting the inside fan. After the 4 screws taken out, you got yourself a big fan, exhaust fan, taking out the internal heat, and then we got one M2 slot filled with M.2 SSD, and one is another empty to upgrade, and 2 DDR5 slots to put the DDR5s in. And this fan really cools the M.2 SSDs and the DDR5s because we really need them to perform at the best. I think it's a good choice, and the fan size is quite big. You're going to see it on the screen, so it will help it to cool down and perform at its best for the GPU, because especially AMD Ryzens need these sort of dual channel DDR5s. So I'm going to reveal just in the upcoming short section this gelatin cover. I'm going to take it out slowly for you.